Hi, this is Sazzy Counseling, and this is my video. Hi, Professor. Um, I'm here with Miriam,
Hi.
and how are you doing?
Good.
How was your day today?
It was okay. A bit busy, but okay.
Okay, you're good. You okay?
Yes.
Okay, so what would you like to talk about today?
Well, I know I've been battling with some anxiety.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I'm thinking it probably happened like about 10 years ago.
Oh, really? That long?
That long.
You've been feeling this anxiety for like
Prob-
10 years?
Probably like mid within the 10 years, probably like in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I remember I met this guy at this party. We had a mutual friend. We were dating, we started dating for a little bit, and probably within a year, he proposed at that time.
Oh,
At that time, a lot of my friends were, getting married, so it was just like the thing to do. I didn't want to be singled out or anything, but
okay.
got married. He was nice to me. He was different, a bit different from all the guys that I've been used to. Then, you know, everything was going well.
Okay.
Then later on, we got married, and I remember waking up in our apartment, and I'm like, "What the hell did I just do?"
Yeah, but how long did you guys date for before
We
you got
dated
married?
about 6 months or
6
so.
months.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I don't believe that you have to date somebody for so long and then be together for a while before you decide you want to get married. Because sometimes you can be with somebody and then be with them for like 5 years and then it just doesn't work out, But it was just different. I've never lived alone. It was my first apartment. Then he expected me to cook, do all this, which every wife is supposed to do. But it was just very different, something that I wasn't used to. And I think like people should actually just wait when they're like in their mid-30s to get married, because it's crazy. But we would just argue so much about like the littlest tedious things. Like he would have pictures on his phone, or having women call him from Panama, and then I would ask him, "Who is this?" Then he would tell me, "Oh, that's his cousin, or that's his friend." And like a woman knows when something is wrong. And then I was just so angry, and then we would just fight. I would even destroy my things in the house because I would be so angry. And then it just like I just felt like little by little, like I just started building little anxiety. Like I don't know, when we argue, I just get like so enraged. And then it was just crazy. And then as time went by, in the relationship, it was so because I just felt like as a woman, I need to, I made my bed, lay in it, just this is my life now. Just deal with it, try to make it work.
Okay.
But I just felt like in the beginning we were happy, and then so quickly, like I didn't feel beautiful anymore. I didn't feel like I just felt like he just always was looking, and I used to always say, "What is it about me? Am I doing something wrong? Should I change something?" And then he'd be like, "No, it's nothing." And then he would like talk bad about me to my family, to my friends, say I don't do this, I don't do that, and they would be like against me, like.
Okay. Can we track back? Like backtrack to um your relationship with him, like when you guys just met, like the first 3 months to 6 months before you got married. How was the relationship then?
It was, in the beginning, it was good. It wasn't great because I felt I was at the time of my life where I felt like no one's perfect.
Okay.
And then, we go out to dinner. We, you know, you come to my house, meet my family, but it wasn't the way I always dreamt it would be. You know, like there was always something missing. But the fact that I was getting older, it was just like, you don't need all that. You just need somebody to live with, you know, to make your dues and then call it a day. But something was missing, and then which I could have gotten out of it. It was just I was always wanting to make things work, you know.
Okay.
But it was just never there.
Okay. So from what you're saying, you got to a age or a stage where all your friends were married
Correct.
and everything, and you were feeling left out,
Correct.
and so you know, like were eager
Correct.
to get married,
Correct.
and you met him. But my question to you is, even if you were eager to get married and all that, there probably would have been something about him or something that attracted you to him.
He was just different from all the other guys I was dating
Okay.
at that time. He was very attentive.
Okay.
So I liked that about him.
From the beginning.
From the beginning of relationship.
Okay.
But within the beginning of dating, within those 6 months, probably on the second month, it was just like not that great. But I just kept on with it, just to see maybe things could be
Change.
better, you know. But it didn't get better. There would be times where he would have to meet me somewhere, and then he would cancel the engagement to hang out with his friends.
This was before the marriage?
This was before the marriage.
Okay.
And I used to just get so angry, like, how can a guy change so quickly, you know? But then again, I blame myself. I could have just waited, you know?
Okay.
But just doing everything that everybody's doing, it was just like, just go with it. But it didn't feel right. But
you still went ahead with
I
it?
still went ahead because I'm thinking, it'll get better. But it just went crashing down to the point when I remember we had a child.
Oh, you have a child?
I have a child with him.
With him?
With him.
Okay.
But we're not together anymore.
Okay. How old is this?
She's about 7 years old now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little girl. She's about 7 years old now. And I remember in the marriage, we tried, it didn't happen, but so many things was happening in the relationship to the point that I felt like I wanted to get out. And when that time period came, boom, I just got pregnant. And then, even though things wasn't that great, I wasn't happy anymore in the relationship. I was like, okay, I'm having a baby, I need to make it work. You know, as a woman, you want to make things work. But it was just keep going down.
Okay. But what do you think changed though? Because I know, like you rightly said, you were eager and everything, you met him, but for the first 6 months he was okay, and then you still went ahead
Correct.
with the wedding and marriage, and probably maybe did you guys have a big wedding?
We had a big wedding.
It was a big wedding?
A big wedding that my family paid for. He didn't pay for anything.
Oh.
And then the funny thing is, I remember a couple of weeks before the wedding, I got a call saying that he got another woman pregnant. But I heard,
Really?
yeah, I heard that she was pregnant before I even known him, but it was almost about the same time. So I remember when I asked him, I was upset. And then he was like, this was before you know, he just got out of a relationship, but he never told me this. And so I was pregnant, she was pregnant, but I was like, oh my God, my family just paid for this, paid for everything. Like, how do I get out of this? How do I tell them this? So I just felt like, let's just
Wait,
see.
how were you guys? How were you and then the other lady pregnant at the same?
Not at the same time. She
Time?
was just a couple of months pregnant before me.
So as soon as
So-
you guys got married, you were pregnant.
I was pregnant, but I was this time. This was a pregnancy, not my daughter that I have now. This was a pregnancy before my child, but I lost the baby.
Oh, okay, okay.
But the child that he had with this other woman, she had the kid. She had a son.
Okay.
And then when they was telling me and I confronted him, he was like, oh, something that be happened before you and all this other stuff. And then it was just like my life was in shams and how am I gonna tell my family? And then it's just like I didn't want to disappoint them and I didn't want to let them know what was going on. So I just went along with everything. I was just like, let me just wash my hands with this situation and just move on. And I just, like stupid me, you know, still stayed. But now, you know, I was married. And then now after the marriage, it was just like little things kept coming up. And I remember there was a time on the computer, he had pictures, and I saw this little boy, and I'm like, oh, this kid looks like him. So one day, I remember he came home from work, and I was like, who is this kid? You guys have the same eyes. But not like, okay, he's my family, but who is this kid? Then once he told me that was his cousin's son. And another time, I saw another picture of that same kid, but a little older. Now the story switched. Now that's his not his cousin's kid, a friend of his kid, like one of his friend's kid. Then I was like, stop it, you're lying. Like, you're freaking lying to me. And I'm like, how can you do this? That time I didn't even have my daughter yet. You know, I've been trying to have children, nothing happened, and then you have a kid somewhere else, da-da-da-da. And then it was just like, just lies on top of lies.
Is it the same pregnancy you knew about?
Yes, the same pregnancy I knew about. It was just now, he was keeping contact with this kid, but not speaking to me as his wife.
But you already knew about the
I
pregnancy.
knew about it, but there was no contact. There was, the lady didn't want nothing to do with him.
You wanted to be in contact with the child?
Not with the child. I already knew there was a kid involved.
Okay.
So if there's a kid involved, if you're gonna be there, I already know this. So okay, fine. But don't lie to me when I'm seeing pictures and then you're giving me like two different stories. I already know you have this kid. So what's going on? You're going behind my back to see this kid. Like, what's going on? Are you keeping in contact with this woman? Are you sleeping with her? Like, what's going on? But he lied about it and he said he was sorry. And I forgave them. I forgave him. But now, things was just getting bad.
But then, with the child, don't you think he was trying to, I'm not trying to get in the middle of this, you know, but don't you think he was trying to protect you from that? And probably the child from whatever, just, you know, like, maybe he didn't just want you, you know, to have like access to the child and then the mother of the child, and then there's conflict between 3 or 4 of you.
The thing is that even though at that time when we both knew we were pregnant, I lost the baby and he had the child, I already knew, that's already established, I know this. But as your wife, if you're gonna keep in contact, which of course every guy is supposed to be in a child's life, but don't lie to me. You lied to me twice about this picture. And then it's just like, if your child is gonna be there, even if he comes to the house, I would welcome the child. But the thing was just like, it's him being deceitful.
Does he know that you would welcome the child?
Oh, we spoke about it.
Oh, you did?
We spoke about it. Because because I'm a very open person. I get it, but why lying to me when I already know this child exists? Do you understand? It's not fair as your wife who's gonna hold you down, and then you're lying to me. So it was just like,
So does him lying make you feel he was probably still in a relationship
correct,
with the child's mother?
correct.
I'm not
No,
stating that.
that's
You
how
just
I felt.
Oh, okay.
That's how I felt, and then as things was just developing, it was just like there was no more trust anymore. Then there'll be times when I got pregnant with our child, he will go out and drink and stay out with his friends, don't come home, and then I'm pregnant, I'm not supposed to be stressing, and then he's like, he's okay, he's fine, he's good, he's gonna be home, and then he didn't even come home the next day. He let the sun beat him home. He came home like let's say he didn't come home tonight, and then he came home like around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And you're married, you're out with your friends, you have a pregnant wife at home, worried about you. What were you doing? Then things just escalated. It just like little things like this was just started to happen and happen.
Let me ask you a question. From the beginning of everything, right? You wanted to get married because everyone was getting married.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the whole thing. Did he at any point find out that that was the reason you got married to him? Because everyone else was married, you just wanted a husband. It didn't matter if it was him or someone else. And then he found out that this was the reason why you actually got married. Not based on, like someone, oh, I find this person, I love this person, I'm in a relationship with this person, eventually it ends up in marriage. It's different from all my friends and sisters married. I need to get married. Just pardon me. Like, I need to get married and this person is available, so I get married to him. Did he find that out to make him, like change towards you?
No. That whole thing with I wanted to get married because everybody was getting married, that's a woman thing. You amongst a group of friends, everyone is married and you're the single one. And then yes, when it happens, yes, at the time I was in love with him.
Okay.
I loved him.
Okay.
I love, yes, because
Okay.
who would marry somebody just because everybody's getting married? No, I did love him.
Okay.
And then I know he loves me too, but everything, it's like love is happiness. There's no love is easy. There's no stress. I felt like there was stress already in the beginning, but even though I loved him, I was willing to try to work things out, to make things better. Because sometimes, yeah, things doesn't, it's not always great, but I did love him. I did care for him. And then I wanted to work things out. I wanted everything to be great, even though things wasn't going great. But back in my mind is like, even though everything was falling, I didn't want to ever be the person to be like, oh, she didn't try. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. I tried everything in the book. I tried to like the things he liked, do the things he wanted to do, or hang out with him. But when I was with him, I didn't feel appreciated. And little by little, the love was just going. It was just going. And then it was just like sad, because every woman wants to marry the love of their life.
True.
And be happy and have family and then just live a happy life. But it just wasn't happy for me. That wasn't my story. My story was just stuck somewhere, and then it's like I couldn't turn the page. Like I needed a new book to add to the addition, And then it was just like, then after that, women was just texting him. he would he would literally go to bed and take his phone and put it underneath the mattress just so I wouldn't get to it.
Underneath the mattress?
Underneath the mattress. Just so I wouldn't get to it. Because there's this thing called woman intuition when we know something is wrong. I can go to bed at night and then wake up, something's wrong, and then I already know what it is. And then when I'll wake up, I'll check his phone. And I'll see women from Panama texting him, oh, baby, this.
Oh, he's from Panama?
Yeah, he's from Panama. They would say, he would say, oh, I live with my roommate. I can't really speak to you right now. Oh, when can we speak? I really like you. And then she'll send dirty pictures. I'll see dirty pictures of him. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then I'll get so angry. I'll wake him up. I'll take the phone and throw it at him. I'm like, what is
Throw
this?
his phone at him?
Yes. I would literally fight him. Because I was just like, you have a wife here that's trying her best to understand why you're doing these things. And then she puts herself aside to try to, she's always thinking, is it me? I always felt like, was it me? What am I doing wrong? I always felt that way. Was it me? What am I doing wrong? And then it was always him. And then I'm like, Lord, do I deserve this? Like, I don't deserve this. Like, I'm supposed to be happy. Like, why is he doing this to me? I haven't cheated. I haven't did anything. And then just these women, and then I will call them. I would literally call them, and my Spanish wasn't even that great. But I will call them and I will speak to them. I was
No,
like,
why would you speak Spanish though?
because they were Spanish, they didn't speak any English.
And him?
He doesn't speak any English either. I
So
have
how do you guys
to. I have to.
communicate?
You know what? The majority of my friends are Spanish, and I never bothered to learn. But when I got with him, like, you know, I loved him. I learned.
Oh wow.
I learned. I'm not that great. I'm not savvy with it, but I can get around with it.
Oh wow. So you had to learn Spanish just to communicate with him?
I bought me a dictionary, a Spanish English dictionary. I bought two, one for him, one for me. And then every new word I would like read, I would make sure I use it in my sentence. And I would just pick it up. I would just go and pick it up and pick it up, pick it up. And then I learned. And until this day, he doesn't even speak a lick of English.
Wow.
His daughter don't even understand him. Isn't that sad?
So, don't you think the English Spanish thing had something to do with communication with you guys?
No. Like, I know it's a barrier, like, for some people, but I learned for him. Because I wanted this. I learned for him. I literally learned how to speak Spanish. And, he could sit here and talk. He couldn't be with his friend and talk about me. I understood what they were saying. I learned. When you want to learn something and you want it real bad, trust me, you will make it happen. You will make it happen.
You wanted to learn Spanish so bad, and then you made it happen. He didn't want to learn English that bad?
Not even. If he could surround himself in like a Spanish community, he would just stay there. That was enough and okay for him.
So he never got out of his Spanish
No.
thing?
Till this day. Till this day.
Wow.
Till this day.
So you don't think that probably added to the problem? Like he was stuck in his own ways and the communication between you guys wasn't that great?
Well, I don't think no one can ever be stuck. There's always a solution to a problem, but he wasn't willing to learn. He was just content where he was at. And then we communicate great. He understood me, I understood him.
Even if it was, like
in the beginning, it was horrible. I remember I told myself, I can't be with this guy. He don't even speak English. And I can't speak Spanish, but I learned. I I literally learned, and then we communicate. Even to this day, if I have to communicate with him, I have to communicate with him in Spanish. And then sometimes our daughter would say, "What is he saying? What is this? What
It's
is that?"
obvious you guys are not together anymore.
No, no,
That's all. It's sounding obvious.
no. That was a done deal.
And if I may ask, caused the, what drew the final straw?
Well, he cheated so many times with these women, me catching these naked pictures of him lying about it, and then we fought. I remember there was a time when I was like, I'm gonna put my foot down, that's it. A lot, no, to rewind a little bit, a lot of my friends, my two best friends told me, if you don't leave this relationship, he's going to kill you. He's going to, you're not happy, you're gonna be done for. And then one of my best friends told me, Melissa, and I'll never forget it, she said, the only way you will leave this relationship unless he leaves you first. And that hurt me to the core. I was like, no, what the hell she's talking about? I could leave him. But a part of me felt like, if he leaves, how am I going to take care of my bills? How am I going to pay this? How am I going to take care of my daughter's tuition, all this? How am I going to do this? And I was doing it all along by myself. Sometimes he will help and sometimes he wouldn't. But I remember, like it was yesterday, I was at my best friend's house. He would, wherever, if I was at a family house, wherever I was at, he would call me and then, where are you? You didn't cook, you didn't do this. And I used to be like this. I used to just shake, like I used to get anxiety. Like, why am I like this? Like, he made me feel like, I don't know. And then, this was constantly. Then that day, I was at my best friend's house. We was hanging out. And I remember I told him, I'm taking our daughter to the zoo, and I'm going to be at my best friend's house. We're going to chill for a little bit, then I'll come home. My phone was ringing nonstop. When are you coming home? I'm hanging out for a little bit, I'll come home. Hurry up and get home. Da 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 da. And then I was like, whatever. So I went home, driving, shaking. I don't know why, because if we had to fight, we would fight. I get home, and then he had his clothes packed.
Just like that?
Just like that. He was waiting outside, and then I was carrying my daughter at that time. And then he was like, F you, da da da. And then I'm like, I looked at him like he was a crazy guy. And he took his wedding band and he threw it at me. And all I did, literally, I was just so fed up.
What happened?
He always threatened me of leaving me. He used to always threaten me to leave.
So what happened at that point that made him pack his bags and everything?
It's not at that point. He always done that. Whenever we would fight, he would just pack his bag and leave to his uncle's house. He would just
and then come back.
And then come back.
Oh, okay.
So I think that night I was just tired. I was just tired. And then I went upstairs. He followed me. And he was like, I put my daughter down because she was sleeping. He got in my face. He was like, I'm gonna break your motherfucking face. I'm gonna break your face. He was ready to punch me. And he used to be a professional boxer in Panama.
Oh.
So if he was ready to deform my face, he would have. And then I didn't care. And I was on the phone with my best friend. She was like, what is that? Call 911. And I was like, if you're gonna break my face right now, break it right now. Because I'm not going down like that, because me and you will be fighting. And then he was like, oh, I'm gonna break your face. And then he took his stuff and he left. He left, and I was just like, my friend stayed on the phone with me till I fell asleep. Then the next day, that happened on a Saturday. The next day, I went to my friend's house again, just to hang out, just to be away from all this. And I told her, it was getting late. It was probably like 11. And I told her, can you follow me home? She was like, what? You live right there. I was like, I don't know. Something tells me to follow. Can you guys come with me? They followed me home. So I drove home with my daughter in the car, and then they followed me home. Funny little thing, he was outside, cursing me out, calling me out my name. Calls me slut, bitch.
That's crazy.
Like, I was fat, this and that. Like, he said, I remember he told me what hurt me so much. He told me, I would never be with somebody like you. Like, look at you. A guy like me to be with somebody like you. Like, you know, who are you? I felt dirty. I was hurt. I was really hurt. Then my friends went upstairs with me, and then he packed his bag. He said, oh, I'm leaving. I'm done with you. Da, da, da. And I was like, leave. And I told him, before you leave the rent money so I can pay the rent because it was late. He's like, I'm not giving you anything. Da, 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 da. You can do whatever you want to do. And I was just so tired. Then when he saw that, I was like literally like not, because usually I used to give him like, okay, whatever, and then he sleeps on the couch, and then that was it. Like, we fight, he'll just sleep on the couch, and then he will stay. And then I was like, no. I was like, you can leave. Make sure you leave the keys. Then he saw like, I was like really done. He really saw I was really done. And he's like, oh, because of your friends are here, da da da, all this stuff. And I'm like, just, you said you're leaving. You're not happy. I don't make you happy. Then just go. Just leave the keys here and leave the rent. He left, came back in the house. He punched the TV, like cracked the
What?
TV in the bedroom. And then my daughter, she saw this.
She saw it?
She saw it. And to this day, she says, oh, Daddy hit the TV. That's why he's not here anymore. Like, it's still stuck in her head. He punched the TV. Then the fact that her bed was like right next to mine, he was trying to like get to me. Luckily my friends were there to stop him. He was ready to punch my jaw in. I was so terrified, so terrified. I called 911. They came. Oh, that night, I guess nothing was going on that night. I had like 15 cops at my door. And then he was like, oh, you're doing this because of your friend, this and that. And I was like, the cops make him give him my keys. And then he left. He came back with a cop. And what hurt the most, because I gave him his papers. He didn't have his papers.
Oh, really?
Yes. His uncle told him, go get your papers. And I was like, you already have your papers. You know, you're a resident now. You already have your papers. What are you getting papers for? So that means that's what you married me for? And I was hurt. I was hurt. It was just like, wow. And then the next day, I filed a restraining order on him. I went to my daughter's daycare, made sure that there's no way he can go, no contact, no nothing. It was a court battle, like it was crazy. Then we went to court. He came with a lawyer. I didn't have any money. Like I came, the judge felt so bad. He postponed it because he was like, she needs to get a lawyer too. Since he came with a lawyer and everything.
Wow. Let me, I don't know. Let me ask you this now, because I see the whole picture. While you were talking, you mentioned two things, two anxieties that you feel. The anxiety of him leaving you, and then the anxiety of like you're just like you're afraid of him, and that gives you anxiety.
Yeah.
Because of the way he behaves, that gives you anxiety because you were, like afraid of him. But the other one is the fear also of him leaving you. So now he's left and everything. How do you feel now, right now, talking about this?
I feel fine. And I don't think it was the fear of him leaving me. I just felt like I didn't know if I could have made it on my own. And then the funny thing is, like, I've been doing it on my own when I was with him. The fear was more so, can I take care of my, because I left my house, living at my parents' house, to being married to this guy. I never lived alone. It was more fear of being alone. Not alone like because I don't have a man in my life. Just I never lived alone. And then fear of, can I make it alone? Because he already made it seem like I needed him. Because there was time when we used to fight, when he used to threaten to leave, I used to cry and beg him not to go. I used to cry and beg him not to go. Like, I would throw myself on the floor. I used to cry. And then it was just like, you don't need this guy.
I don't think that's why he was, because
he knew. I think he manipulated me.
Like like he knew.
He knew.
You know, you wanted to get married. Now he's here, and then you don't want him to leave. You know, like always dependent on him. Like I need this guy here and all that, and then it just got into his head like, oh, she can't live without me, oh, she can't be without me, and then it made him, you know, act the way he
You know what I
acted.
think? What I think is, during the marriage, whenever he was threatened to leave, and then as a Haitian black woman, a woman never leaves. She always tried to fix her marriage. And no one don't need to know what's going on in your household, but as the woman, you need to, like, we're the legs of the family. We need to stand strong and fix things. And I've always tried to do that, even though it was already like poisoned, like it was horrible. I was still trying to be strong, but whenever he threatened to leave, I used to just beg for him to stay, like cry. And I just felt, as a woman, I just felt helpless, worthless, like I needed him, and I didn't, because I've been standing on my feet when he was here. It's just like, the fact that when he kept doing that numbers of time, he learned from it. And then he knows if he would leave, she would beg and cry. She would beg me back. She would, you know, cry for me. And then he knew it. But that day, when I was like, no, when he literally saw that, when he said he's leaving, I'm like, okay, leave your keys. He was just like,
that shocked him.
I think it shocked him. Like, is she fucking serious? Like, I think it really shocked him. It shocked him to the point that he was putting his foot down and he's not leaving. Like, this lady.
Like, I want to leave, and then you're like, okay, you can leave, and he's like, no, I'm not leaving.
Yeah, because my friend was like, bro, you gotta go. And it's like, he's like, I'm not leaving. But till the day he broke that television, and I actually feared for my life. Like, this guy's gonna like kill me.
Wow.
And then it was just like, it was like with God, and with God, and then just watching my daughter as a support system. Not that, I mean, she was a baby, but when I just look onto her, it's like, I need to grow up. You gotta take care of this child.
Yeah.
And then that always pushed me and motivate me, like, whatever you're going through, you don't got time to fall and do this and do that. You got a child to take care of. You got a child to raise. And that's what I always put in my mind. And it gave me strength, you know? And my mother always told me, don't worry, God is going to be there. Everything will be fine. And I used to just think, like, she was crazy. She used to just call me every night and be like, are you okay? Did you eat? And she's like, God is going to send you somebody good. And I was like, okay, Mom, I don't think God is looking my way right now. But at the end, everything did work out. I'm remarried to a wonderful man who respects me, loves me, and then takes my daughter as if it's his own. And then what more can you ask for?
Oh, it's a good story.
Yeah. But it did give me anxiety, but I worked through it. I found strength in it. And then now I just feel like I can tell somebody who's going through it, be like, I've been through that. And you will make it. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be okay. Because I've lived through that. And I can tell, I'm giving you my testimony. I can tell you, you will be okay. You know, like, love yourself.
It's
you have
great.
to love
It's
yourself.
awesome to hear
It's
that you
crazy.
feel this way right now.
Yeah.
It's awesome to hear. Really enjoy, listening and talking to you.
Thank you for
Yeah.
listening. I know I was just rambling.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I really appreciate you sharing. Thank you so much. This has been really, really fun. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for listening.
You're welcome.
All right.